All right, we're going to start with the water deck here. Uh, Not sure if I mentioned it yet, but I started making them, like writing them out first, and then doing the artwork and colorization second. I started with the psychic deck, but I finished with the water. So I'm going to start with the water and finish with the psychic. Great. So here we have the water energies, which are just basic water energy. Uh, and there is 12 of them. And I've done my best to make them look, I don't know, like basic energy. Just straight up. Oh no. I don't think I would be able to do anything about that. That's the only way I can have light. But anyways, it's 12 of them. And they're all basically meant to be basic. I don't know. It's not anything super crazy. I hope I said it already. I'm not an artist. 3 Pokeballs. And so there's very uh, distinct things to note here. The way I write things down for being concise, you flip a coin, and if it's heads, you add a Pokemon from your deck to your hand. There you go. And you just have to know, by proxy, you would shuffle your deck afterwards. I don't write stuff like that. There are 4 item finder, and this is probably one of the more basic ones I have. Discard 2 cards to recycle one of your trainer cards. If you're familiar with the Pokemon TCG for GBC, you might notice that these icons have different colors. I'll get to that eventually, hopefully. The next is PP, plus power, if you will. So I tried doing the, I guess I didn't do it on this one. Oh no! I tried going with the look of the card, but also, I don't really know what it is. It just looks like a weird pill or something shooting a laser beam. We know what this looks like, okay? But again, being concise, attach to your active Pokemon for 1 turn, plus 10 damage. And that, hopefully keeps it in mind that it's not something you just play down. Keep in mind that you have 10 damage, and then gets discarded that you can then, item find back. You have to use it first for the turn. Then I should have more copies of this, I think. Computer search. So for some of these, and it might be obvious, I did use the GBC model in the game. Like, I'd literally just open up my 3DS and looked at it. Discard 2. Maybe it should say trade, but discard 2, add 1, and the parenthesis any. And I don't think, I probably didn't even need that. Super energy retrieval, which is unique for this deck. I didn't make it for every deck, and there's only 2, but whatever. So super energy retrieval, trade 2 cards in your hand for 4 basic energy from discard. I could have just put DP for discard pile. And then it's the water deck. Spoiler alert. So I stuck with only putting water energies. And the artwork. I think I got 2 copies. A Pokemon Center. It turns out, again, I'm not an artist, so I'm not very good at the whole drawing Pokeballs thing. Sadly, trying to draw Pokemon cards. Heal all your Pokemon HP. If healed, and discard all energy attached. And I hope that was concise enough, but also conveyed what you do. Pokemon Breeder. And it's kind of funny. This one, I didn't put the extra in parenthesis, skip 1. But Pokemon Breeder, you evolve a 2 onto a basic. It seems pretty straightforward. Something I thought was interesting is that apparently the Pokemon Breeder card doesn't have a Pokemon, but the Pokemon Trader does. I got them backwards, but whatever. So this guy has a Staryu. And also, I gave them, I don't know if anyone's noticed yet, but this one has square feet, this one has angular feet, and this one has round feet. And all right, look. Professor Oak is reading a book, okay, or he's got one in his hand. It's presumably a research paper. I gave him a Bible, but only for one. I gave him the Satanic Bible for the second one. I gave him a normal Pokeball, just like an actual Pokemon research paper or something. But I gave him a silly face. And then I gave him porn. There you go. Oh, man. It's great. Discard. Very concise. Discard hand, draw 7. I'm not going to go and put in parenthesis. And even if you don't have a hand, it's fine, Bill. So it turns out, again, I'm not an artist. And maybe I should have put the wall behind him on. That would have been a lot of walls to draw. So then I tried a different style. Like, oh, here's a, little different artwork. Turns out I'm not good. He looks more like the guy from Gen 4. And then so I tried this one. I didn't give him an arm. And then I just drew the wall. Again, it probably would have made more sense if I had actually drawn the wall in each of them. But, it's fine. Draw 2 cards. You know what you're doing. And then next up is energy removal. This one is sadly the more basic one. It is 4 energies. It is each the same each time. This one, I'm trying to do like the fighting energy. It didn't really come out that well. But it's energy removal. You discard an energy from the opponent's Pokemon. There's just energy getting sucked into a black hole. They're all 4 of them are black holes. That's like a foreshadowing thing. Then energy search, and I try doing different energies for each one, even though you can get any energy you want. That was kind of the whole point of it anyways. And instead of drawing, all of them. Alright, so now we've gone through the trainers. You're probably wondering, wow, where are the Pokemon in this Pokemon deck? Here. We're getting there. We're here. It's the rain deck, and also it's modeled after the cards from the Game Boy. So I'm only using cards in, like, I guess technically base to jungle, and a few promos. And this especially, I didn't even write it GB in there, but this is the Articuno GB, sort of. I made a concession and also a mistake. So I made, okay, those guys went first, and they have a different bird in them. Spoiler alert. I basically wrote this one's effect more akin to the other ones. So instead of paralyzing a random opponent, it should just be flip if heads paralyze opponent. Like, that's how it goes. And also, not to mention, Ice Breath is supposed to be random. It's any of your opponent's Pokemon, and you don't apply weakness and resistance. And I thought that was just no. Ice Breath does 40. It's fine. And it's just, I don't know. I like the enter the battlefield, so I kept it. And again, instead of just rewriting it or like scratching it out or anything, I mean, you just kind of got to know. That's sad. This is what happens when you're a sad, pathetic human. Oh, man. Squirtle. He's not looking the best, okay? You got to be a little nicer than this. It's got the same... Like, all of these things are the same. It's got the fact that it's a basic Pokemon. Again, in the GBC card game, basics were marked as green, and trainers were basically just black and white. I don't think they, and maybe the T was blue. But I have a lot more trainers than I do basic Pokemon, and I like the color green, so that's really it. So, Squirtle. Squirtle again. Here we go. Not the best pair of shades I've ever done, but I figured if I'm going to have, 4 Squirtles, I got to have at least one with some shades. Right? Now, there's 3 Pokemon Breeder in the deck. I didn't even bother with Wartortle. Spoiler alert. We're at the last 4 here. Okay. So here we have Blastoise. And I'll give you a sneak peek insider edition look into how this was even done. And I'm just now noticing I didn't even shade these in. I'm disgusted with myself. But anyways, so I would do like the shading colors first, just like a circle here, just like a vague splotch. and then I came in with a pen afterward. That's basically how I did it. That was the whole process behind just the artwork, whereas your information, write it down where you want it, whatever. Anyways, so we have one Blastoise. It didn't get any better. It continued. Okay, well, some vague improvements were made. Vaguely. But this one's looking pretty good. Pretty close-ish to the model. Oh, there we go. I thought, why not? Why not take a moment to be just a little, a small amount of creative. And then I finally finished the water deck. Okay. But then there's two of them. Spoiler alert. You can't just have one deck. You got to have one to play against.